Aussie.
Hey, it's Thursday night, almost Friday night, almost weekend. Let's get going. And Luke, already here. Hello. I just remembered something I was going to do. Just requires me to duck over here to the freezer. Now, I think my latest thing of Magic Clear Ice should be ready. Wait a second. I'm actually just going to check something. Right under a line. You know what? I think it's right. I think I can see the ice crystals at the right point where they're just starting to be opaque. So I'll do that. So here we go. Hello, Musical Aviator, Celtic King, Justin, Raiders, Metal Maniac Matt. Hello, one and all, for Thursday night. Still fashion parading. I have worn this before on a stream. Fashion parading my abstract 50s, 60s, 70s design shirts. I think this would be on the background of a talk show in the 60s or 70s. It's interesting. It's like brown, but it's got these tiny little bits of color on it. I quite like it. Hello, Leach. I'm doing fine and dandy on this Thursday night. Hope you all are too. So sometime during the stream, this should come out during the stream. Big thing of ice. Look, you can actually see the bottom because it's all clear. Hopefully I've left it long enough because sometimes it tricks me and it's still too liquid and it kind of fucks it up. But it's been there 2 days and I think that should be enough. And I'm just going to drink this urine samp. I don't even remember what this originally was. It was one of the cocktails I made last week, and the milk clarified version's been sitting there for a while. But well, it tastes pretty good. Raiders, did I see Pauline Hanson's effort in the Senate? Isn't she doing the thing like all these people complaining about critical race theory when none of them know what it is and none of them can articulate? They just go, it's racist. It's just racist. None of them, literally none of them who say critical race theory is a bad thing. None of them can explain it. And speaking of fucking morons, the pathetic loser you're talking about, Celtic King, like he's dumb as fucking shit to make the really dumb assertion he's seen me on the train when I've been saying on the live streams for 15 months. I've been working from home for 15 months. Maybe closer to 14 months. No, we're halfway through June. For some reason, I thought we're still in May. No, I've been working from home for 15 months. I haven't been on the fucking train in 15 months. He's just a pathetic, stupid fantasist. He's a pathetic little boy, not worth worrying about. And Justin, no, I don't think I should have waited for my COVID jab because the fears about the complications are grossly overstated. We've got basically... any complication is unfortunate. You've basically got somewhere in the region of a 1 in 100,000 chance of complications that would require medical treatment. And there's a fuck ton of things that you do every day that have more than a 1 in 100,000 chance of landing you in hospital. And there's unfortunately 2 people in Australia have died which is and that's believed to be directly caused by the vaccine. So that's a 1 in 2 million chance of dying, which is not fucking great. But again, we do shit every single day that's more than a 1 in 2 million chance of killing you. Every time you eat something, you're in danger of choking to death. People choke to death every fucking day. Yeah, Justin, you haven't done the Canberra tram to work every year. The couple of, like, seriously, in the last year, I've gone in 3 or 4 times, and every single time it's been on the tram because trains freak me out. They're too crowded. Too many people get on the trains. The trams has, in my experience, been more sparsely populated. And so the 3 or 4 times in the last year I've gone into the city, it's been via tram. So yes, Banana Brains is an excellent name for him, Matt, because it's all mush. Please, no. Oh, actually, I mean, he's still massively breaching YouTube terms of service by attempting to dox people. He's massively breaching YouTube's terms of service with harassment. So if you see any of that and you agree that that's should be dealt with by YouTube, report him because he's a fucking piece of shit. Yes, so that's about that topic done. Man, I'm trying to describe, because 9 times out of 10, when you milk clarify a cocktail, the flavor of it's completely different, and it's really hard to think back what was in that makes it taste like that. This, yeah, to me, it's got, I think this one might have had brandy in it, but I don't think that was the main thing that was in it. But it's got that really strong sort of grapey thing you get from brandy sometimes. So, yeah. Good work, Luke. Good on you, buddy. But yeah, so the milk clarified cocktails regularly taste nothing like what they originally were. It's hard to remember them. Oh no, Raiders. So that's what happened with Hanson. She forgot her birthday. She's off a tree. Yeah, but she's been separated from reality for a very long time. And she's that classic bullshit artist who bullshits so much they forget what the truth is. They forget they were lying and they start to believe they're bullshit. And then once they're disconnected from reality, everything else starts to come apart. Music Claver, do you reckon you've been to the office about 20 times since March? I think it's been like, I am not even exaggerating. I think I've gone in 3 or 4 times in that period. Celtic King, your cuddles, I think, would be very, very therapeutic for the sad and lonely boy. And he should offer himself up, honestly. I think that would be excellent therapy. Justin, birthday next week. Happy pre-birthday to you, Justin. Cheers. I was going to decide what cocktails I'm going to make tomorrow night for videos next week, because I haven't completely decided, because I had ideas and Coles has been fucking with me, and I am well pissed off with Coles at the moment, because they've been advertising this thing called blood limes. I mean, I think most people have seen a blood orange where the peel's a bit more red than a normal orange, but you cut it and it's bright red and the juice is bright red. Well, these are apparently blood limes, which I'd never heard of before. They keep advertising them and they don't fucking have them. And I even ordered a delivery and they go, no, we don't have them. It's like, fuck you, Coles, fuck you. Oh, yeah. I mean, Raiders, we were talking about the Morrison QAnon Four Corners the other day. It's just like, what is blindingly obvious is Morrison was being influenced by his fucking nutcase pal. He was either tricked into using the phrase ritual abuse when he was talking about the findings of the Royal Commission into institutional sex abuse, or he knew exactly the significance of it and was convinced it was a good idea. Either way, he said it, and he said it because his completely fucking unhinged QAnon mate told him to say it. And what's most important to me is he lied about it. Through the office, they put out a statement that was a direct, obvious lie about why he said it. And that's actually more important to me. Laura, hello. How are you? And Justin, you're going to be 32. You're a young man, Justin. Don't let it bother you. 30 is great, man. I don't know. I've been happy all years I've been around. I mean, seriously, if it gets to the stage where I'm such an old man, things start falling apart, I might be less charitable. But yeah. Oh yeah, Raiders. It's Morrison is easily influenced. Morrison is fucking stupid. Morrison is not a bright person. Morrison is not a gifted person. He's thick as shit, honestly. Oh, nice, Matt. Your birthday next week too. The whole birthday celebrations next week. How have you been, by the way, Laura? I feel like I haven't seen you for a little while. So what are we going to work out here? So I know a couple things I'm going to do for cocktails next week. I've got to do a video around this. This is a milk clarified martini. Ooh, it actually seems to be getting a bit cloudy, which is interesting. Might be the oils coming out. I'm going to do that. I'm thinking of doing a banana Irish whiskey old fashioned. To shout out a couple of YouTubers who gave me the idea for it. Oops, looks like confusion. What's being sought in the kitchen?
Lollies. Did you take with you?
There was only a couple in the bag. Sorry, no, so that's another fun thing. I had a couple of these sugar-free lollies tonight. You know, they're known to have a laxative effect. So if I suddenly have to run off during the...
How many did you have?
Yeah.
Dangerous.
I know, I'm living dangerously. Mrs. Angry said to have 2 of them, and I had 3. So that's the thing. So, yeah, Raiders, I think it's reasonable to say Morrison's a national security threat because he's so fucking stupid. And he put one of the more dangerous people in Australia in Kirribilli. Laura, excited and terrified. Today's second assessment with the Gender Identity Clinic. Most certainly a recommendation for doctor to prescribe hormones. Excellent. Excellent stuff. Most significant day of your life so far? Yeah. Certainly the most significant for the new life. Well, that is absolutely excellent. Yeah, a very important day, very important event. And kudos to you. Justin Morrison's Pentecostal. So he's already crazy, yes. Mrs. Angry's just cheekily holding out a new bag of all those. Come on, have some more, dare you? Eat them on your live stream, see what happens. No, I've read internet posts about that. Apparently, it can get a bit explosive, so we'll see. I only had a couple. Like the internet posts where I've seen someone say it just went south, something terrible. They had a whole bag. It wasn't actually those ones. It was the Haribo gummy bears, but the sugar-free version, because it's the sugar-free things that have a laxative effect. So yeah. Speaking of laxative effects, oh yes, and the Q-wife doesn't work at Kirribilli anymore. That was a bit of fun. Our taxpayer dollars hiring the PM's wife's best friend just to be her pal at Kirribilli, because that's what taxpayer money is for. Yeah. So yeah. Morrison has exceptionally poor judgment, is very easily influenced, and he is not fucking bright. And he has like virtually nothing in the way of even political instinct. I mean, the idea of taking a fucking holiday to Hawaii in the middle of those horrific bushfires 18 months ago. It's just like, you have to be so fucking stupid to do that, to not understand the message you are sending. You are supposedly the leader of the country, and you are just sending a message. Oh, I don't give a fuck about anyone. What? Yeah, we all know they don't give a fuck about us, but you don't have to rub our faces in it. Celtic, you've been talking to a professional hugger. Don't know how she got your number. People are hired to cuddle people for money. You had to turn it down. Dang. Oh, there you go. So, Laura, can I explain why you sent awful politics by having Tony Abbott advise the British Government Board of Trade? Yeah, that was particularly humorous. That it's the British Tories are so fucked. The idea that they would actually pay Abbott to be an advisor, that's just the fucking old school tie network. That's absolutely ridiculous. Raiders, that is a good point about the PM's wife's friends, basically an au pair. Yeah, she was meant to help. She was meant to be an au pair, which, again, we've had who was it? It was Dutton who intervened on behalf of someone to allow their au pair who was here illegally to stay. But yeah. Yeah, Justin, that's a 2020s cancelled fridge magnet. Someone sent it to me last year. Yes, and it's still... little did we know that 2021... it's not going to be that great in comparison. That was it, Raiders. The AFL boss's brother, yeah. But same time Dutton's imprisoning little kids, he's cutting deals for mates for their au pair to stay when they're here illegally. Because he's a cunt, he's a cunt, he's a cunt. I want to turn that into a music sting that I can just hit a button, talk about someone who's as big a cunt as Dutton and play a little musical thing. No, Luke, I'm definitely an amateur live streamer because I'm not getting paid for doing it. You could call me a proficient live streamer or a competent live streamer, but definitely amateur because I'm not being paid. Doing it for love, which is, for those who didn't study Latin at school, that is the root of amateur, the Latin amo, to love. So an amateur is someone who does something for the love of it, for no monetary reward. That's today's Latin lesson. I did not do a lot of Latin at school. I think I studied it for 1 year and I only remember a couple of things. But I got brownie points from the teacher because I was the best at recognizing the Latin roots in words that we still use. Some people were better at memorizing the Latin than I was in the written tests, but in stuff that actually required you to think, like, what's a word we use now that uses this Latin root? And I was better at that than everyone else. I got brownie points for that. Oh, I remember that one as well, Raiders. Amanda Vanstone letting a mafia boss stay in the country, which was cool. And Laura, since you're Equalities Minister, Liz Truss is also President of the Board of Trade, almost certainly a homophobe and transphobe. Tony Abbott's a perfect fit. Yep, they would get on super well, I imagine. Conservative bigots, yeah. Yeah, Raiders, there is a lot of Latin in legal terms, some in medical terms as well. It's funny, like, people think, because you get all these things with Latin still being used, that if you ask people what language does most of English come from, a lot of people say Latin, and it's actually German. Much more of English, modern English, is Germanic than anything else. There's French as well. There's Latin. There's a lot of Latin. And there's probably a few other languages thrown in there for good measure. But yeah, it's interesting. I think it's to sound important in some professional fields. Like universities have Latin mottos, and the legal profession uses Latin, and the medical profession uses Latin. Yes, Justin, English is primarily Germanic, but English is a bastard language. Mostly Germanic, bits of Latin, bits of French. And that's why a lot of the pronunciations and grammar and spelling makes no fucking sense whatsoever and is completely inconsistent. It's because we borrowed that spelling from German, but in this word, we borrowed the spelling from French. Oh, and in this one, we borrowed the spelling from Latin. And that's why it makes no goddamn sense. Oh, no, Shieldsy, the Queensland budget came out, but they didn't put money in for a border wall. Damn it. Damn it. That was your big ticket item you wanted in there. Keep these filthy disease-carrying Southerners out. Hey, Safa, how's it going? No, I'm not going to get Pfizer because I've already had my first AstraZeneca, and current thinking is my second dose in about 8 weeks will also be AstraZeneca. But there was actually some research in Europe, I believe, that there may be some efficacy in actually mixing up the vaccines, like getting AstraZeneca first and getting Pfizer second. But I don't think there's any thinking that way in Australia. So in a while, I will get my second AstraZeneca, which will be a fucking relief. What's this? Yeah, it's got weird sludge in the bottom of it. This they take too long to explode. Explain. That's some runoff from some of my other clarified cocktails, which I'm going to re-clarify sometime. Next time I make a clarified cocktail, basically. Luke, I have not heard from Aidsy since last we saw him. So I'll try and remember to message him tomorrow to see what he's up to. Oh, man, that's good. Sometimes, I mean, what I always say about the milk clarified cocktails, they're always interesting, they're always different, and they're sometimes really, really good. That one's good. I don't even really remember what it is. I never label stuff. Mrs. Angry says label stuff, and I go, oh, it'll be fine, and then I forget what it is. Nice, Justin, fully vaccinated. Safa getting Pfizer on the 29th. Nice. Oh, no, Safa. Aldi didn't have your favorite long neck apple cider in stock. That's disappointing. There's you won't find it at Aldi, I don't think, but at some specialty bottle shops, there's a cider made out in Geelong called Flying Brick. Their mascot is the Black Cockatoo. They've got this cartoon Black Cockatoo in it. Very good cider. Really like it. One of my favorites. And they do sweet, dry, and draft. So depending what your taste is. If you like it sweet, there's a sweet. If you don't like it sweet, there's the dry. And if you want to go halfway, there's the draft. I'd probably, my order of preference for them is probably draft, sweet, dry. They're all good. The dry is not too dry. But I'd probably pick the draft first because the sweet's a little bit sweet. Yeah, well, that's my recommendation, Safi. You might sometimes see in a specialty bottle shop Flying Brick cider. If you like sweet, their sweet cider is pretty good. Oh no, Justin, you thought you accidentally threw out your medicine, but you found it on the couch. It's like when evangelicals come to your door and say, have you found Jesus? And you go, yep, he was hiding behind the couch. And he goes, bastard, giving me away. I like to have imaginary conversations with Jesus. Everyone else does. Laurie saying English primarily, Germanic and French. The Angles, the Saxons, and the Jute came from Germany, Denmark, Celts in the crappy hilly ground. Yeah, but I mean, you can count it up in terms of the percentage of the language. Most of the language is Germanic. And I'm not actually, I think French is probably second because of the amount of times the Normans occupied England. And then there's a decent chunk of Latin in there as well. But then again, I'm not that good at languages. But I think even German and French were influenced by Latin as well. So I think. Not quite sure what you're saying there, Safa, but you're getting vaccinated, which is good. You're on country foot and no more border bubbles. The world is unpredictable, mate. Anyone who thinks they can predict what is going to happen in the next year is full of crap. Justin, what do I do when evangelicals knock on the door? I just say not interested and shut the door in their face. And if they don't go away straight away, I'll yell fuck off at them. Ooh, Raiders, you like Mercury. Mercury is not bad at all. I think young Mr. Angry likes Mercury, actually. A Tassie cider. They have a sweet cider, yes. Shields, is anyone having trouble with internet banking tonight? Wait, everyone, I don't think that's Shieldsy. I think that is a Russian hacker, and he's trying to get us to say stuff about our bank accounts. Be very, very careful. Celtic King, I do believe you profess your love quite a lot, actually. Safa, the knowing whether someone is vaccinated or not is very fraught because the stupid fuckhead pieces of shit who refuse to get vaccinated have made it very clear they will just fake documentation to say they've been vaccinated because they're selfish, obnoxious fucking pieces of shit. I have no time at all for them. Oh, it's in the news. The banks are down. Okay, now I just want to check. Is my bank down? Okay, no one listen because I have to say my password out loud to remember it. Yeah, okay. Important message. We're working on to fix an issue affecting our services. Is it affecting me? No, all my bank accounts are coming up. I'm rich, bitch, because I got paid. Nice. I'm rich. I actually have to fucking move stuff between my accounts tomorrow because I'm a shifty international financier, moving stuff around. Laura, thanks so much for dropping in, and that was really exciting news, and I'm so happy for you. And Glee, hello. Oh, you're saying it's the bank's post office event? Has any? And I'm not joking, and I'm not being paranoid. There have been a lot of internet outages in the last couple of months. There seems to be a real concerted. Okay, I only owe about $500 on my credit card, which is good, and because that means I've only spent $500 since last payday, which is pretty fucking good because I pay every. I've again, we're talking about only being to work into the office 3 or 4 times in the last year. I think I've only filled my car with petrol like 3 or 4 times in the past 15 months. I think I've only been to an ATM 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 times in the last 15 months. And the only reason I've been those times is because I have cash on hand. Occasionally, the offspring, when they're going somewhere and they're going to be out and stuff, I'll give them some emergency cash. It's like, okay, if you end up in a situation, blah, 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 take this money, get a fucking taxi, okay? Yes, Justin, I pay my credit cards off in full. Each payday, in fact, not even each month, each payday. So I do virtually all my transactions by credit card, unless it's by PayPal, which debits direct from my savings account then. So I've been pretty good. Shields, you got a high credit score? Mine probably sucks, actually. And Greg, hello. Okay, and I just want to know that warms my heart. Greg doing a hello shout out to Glee. Actually, 2 of my oldest YouTube buds from here in Melbourne, like we were hanging out like 14 years ago. So some old school angry crew there. So, and hello Toby, by the way. who's hanging out with Celtic King. Apparently the banks hate you if you pay the credit card off every month and so don't pay interest. They think you're a freeloader, which tells you all you fucking need to know about banks, quite honestly. Bastards. Bastards, the lot of them. Safa Putin says he won the talk with Biden. Oh my God. They're both such fucking idiots, honestly. Well, actually, not idiots. I mean, Putin's quite dangerous. Biden's a bit of a fucking wild card. I mean, Biden doesn't strike me as a pathetic loser, easy to manipulate like Trump, who was completely bamboozled by Putin and possibly being blackmailed and or bribed by Putin. Yes, Glee, the bank's favorite person is the person who makes the minimum payment each month. Because that was me once. The first major credit thing I ever did was $1,000 for some computer stuff. And it took me a couple years to pay off. And the fucking finance company loved it. Like, they let me extend the credit line a couple times, and they fucking loved me because they had me on the hook for years. And hello, Chris. And I agree, garbage is important. For anyone who didn't pay attention to the name of tonight's stream, when I was looking stuff up, I found out today in America it's called Garbage Man's Day. And I was going to make a joke about it, like say maybe it's my day, or if I was feeling less self-effacing, and I might have said, "No, how come Morrison's got a day named after him? He's the garbage man." But garbage collection's important, so I didn't want to make fun of it. Raiders, did I see the Aussie guys who started Afterpay? I don't really know a lot about them, apart from the fact they will be filthy, stinking rich at the moment. And I've never invested in crypto, Celtic, because it's super fucking dangerous. Or the band Garbage. That's a good one, Greg. I like that. Shieldsy, you were crap at budgeting years ago, but now you deposit money fortnightly into the bills. That is good. I also actually have savings, like that I put $500 into every fortnight that I don't touch. So I got emergency cash. Chris, that's good, not using loans or credit. Justin, have I ever had a garbage strike? I don't think so. No, I don't think there's ever been a garbage strike anywhere I've lived. Yeah, there's been a couple famous ones around the world in the UK and New York, like in the Joker movie, is giving an image like grimy 70s New York when there was a garbage strike. Oh, and don't we love bin day? Don't we love bin day? We have green bin day, which was this week, and recycling next week. So if you don't like to owe Monet, no, he's, besides being a famous impressionist painter, apparently a pretty brutal loan shark. Breaks fingers. Justin, you reckon New York stinks of garbage? I've literally never been. I would love to go to New York. I've never been there. It is without a doubt the single biggest regret of my life is I've hardly traveled, and I've missed an enormous number of opportunities for travel in my life. So young folk, fucking travel, okay? If you get the opportunity, do it, because you'll regret it later if you don't. Raiders, you remember tram strike and the brewery strike? I do. I think the tram strike was before I moved to Melbourne, although I'm not 100%. There's been small tram strikes when I've been in Melbourne, not really sort of long drawn out ones. I think I remember the brewery strike. So if you have green every week, we have regular rubbish every week. We have green every second week, and recycling every second week. So, all right. And that's out of pre-drinks. Man, I've got one pre-mixed in the fridge, though. So, Chris, in Europe, there's no bin day. They just have big underground dumpsters for you drop trash, pick it up when it needs emptying. I did not know that. I learned something today. This Tempest cocktail. Archie Rose. It's almost gone. When I finish this, I think I'm going to order one of the other Archie Rose pre-bottled cocktails because this one was so good. Celtic King, I have never read the Quran or the Book of Mormon. I have read bits of the, lots of bits of the Old and New Testament because I went to Catholic school. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just finishing it. Oh, that's a lot. That's actually a double. Now I've got these really nice bottles that are empty, but I've got nothing to do with them. So they're just going to go in the recycling, which kind of feels like a waste. I'm going to keep the stopper. Stoppers come in handy. Although I think I've got enough stoppers now. I should probably stop saving stoppers. Stop with the stoppers. The Tempest. There you go. That's probably only about 2 standard drinks anyway. I like that, Justin. Best way to become an atheist is to read the Bible. That's why all those ratbag evangelicals in America are so evangelical, because none of them have actually read the Bible. They've just listened to bullshit sermons. Chris, it's not that I couldn't use them. It's just that I've already saved a bunch of Books. Books. Sorry, I'm getting confused with what Celtic King said. I've saved a bunch of bottles, and so I don't have any more space for more of them. So I have saved enough bottles that I have no real use for them. See, I like this one too. This one's from Applewood. I finished that this week. Sort of looks like lab equipment. It's got this little divot in the bottom. This one kind of looks like lab, and I love that noise. Looks like lab equipment to me. Yes, Celtic King Toby did send me Books of Mormon and Qurans. I think there was one version of the Quran that looked quite nice, which I kept, but I haven't read it. So I probably know the Bible more. Fucking 10 years of Catholic education, mate. Oh no, Shieldsy, you're worried about the wind blowing your bins over. The wind's not that strong here, and the garbage truck arrives really early, so. Oh, goddamn, that's good. Raiders. On January 1, 1990, after a rumour spread workers were to be locked out of the depots, driver took 250 trams out of the streets and parked them in the... I've heard of that. That's before I moved to Melbourne. I have heard, and I'm a big fan of aggressive industrial action, quite honestly. So, yeah, I back the tram drivers. Justin, my offspring went to state schools. They went to the appropriate state school. Young Mazangri went to this selective state school that, like, you had to pass an exam to get into, called University High, that everyone raved about how good it is. She didn't like it at all. And there were a couple things about the school that I thought were very shitty. So she was only there for a year or two, and she didn't want to stay there, and we moved anyway. So she went to the local state school at that point. Private schools are bullshit. Private schools are just all about fostering privilege. They don't provide better education. They coddle the privileged, and they perpetuate privilege. There should be zero public funding for private schools. If those privileged fucks want to have their little private clubs, they can pay for them completely. Glee, you remember the tram strike. It was very famous, the way they parked all the trams in the CBD. Glee, your son went to uni high for less than a term. Yeah. Oh, Justin, you went to St. Michael's Grammar. Okay. Do you think it was worth it? Because it probably cost a fucking fortune to send you there. It's just all about connections. Those schools are all about perpetuating privilege. And they should get no public money whatsoever. Luke, I remember the story about a kid stealing a tram. Yeah. That was a thing that happened, that I don't know how he knew how to make a tram go, but he actually drove the tram for quite a while before someone stopped him. I feel like that wasn't all that long ago. Although I am old, so not that long ago sometimes means 20 years to me. Chris, you went to a public school in the US. Okay, dangerous. I visited a public school in the US probably about 25 years ago with my ex who had family there and went to pick up the student. And it did weird me out a bit. The school had locks and metal detectors and security guards, which was a bit freaky for Australia. Kirsten, Hellion, hello. Moving house tonight. I'm glad you're here because I was looking to you for advice because I actually emptied a couple of bottles this week. And we did talk about getting a new rye whiskey. And I did wait for the Gospel to announce their special one. And they did announce a special one that they selected with Blackheart Sparrow. And I did actually order that. And it's probably going to arrive tomorrow. So I'll probably taste test that on the live stream tomorrow night. But I finished my Archie Rose Distiller's Strength Gin. So I was looking for a recommendation for another overproof gin, because I like to have one overproof on hand. And what was the previous one? Brogan's Way, I think, was the previous one I had, which I also liked. But yes, I was hoping to get a recommendation for you on another quality overproof gin. I also think this weekend I'm going to go and visit the Patient Wolf Distillery again and get their Blackthorn gin, because I finished my actually quite a while ago I finished my cherry gin from Anther, and I've been meaning to replace it. I think I'll drop into Patient Wolf Distillery on probably on Saturday and get it. Ooh, Kirsten, Great Ocean Road Split Point. Okay. Great. Yep. Okay, it's still in my search history. We've obviously talked about it before. Great Ocean Road Gin. Shop. Okay, what do they have? Split Point. Oh, they have a grapefruit cello. Damn. So I'm just thinking, like, geez, do I want to max it out to take advantage of the thingy? Okay, so Split Point. Ooh, they got a little discount happening. Trophy winning Navy Strength, 57%. Yeah, boy. Okay, I want to continue shopping. Have you tried their grapefruit cello? Vibrant aroma, bright and bursting with white grapefruit peel, brioche, honeysuckle, and ginger. Grapefruit cello is complex with less sugar than some of the more traditional cellos, allowing bitterness and spice to play to the forefront, contrasting with sweeter elements of the fruit itself. This gin's fantastic for sipping over ice, served with a small splash of tonic, garnished with orange peel. Sounds kind of good. No, that's good for now, because I just want one. Ooh, the Echuca Distillery Navy. Justin, your parents were wealthy, sent kids to private school. It was down to you. What was the experience for you? Was it a good experience? Oh, you love the cello. See, I'm tempted to get that. I'm almost out of limoncello. Maybe I should get grapefruit cello as a replacement, just to make it, worth the postage. Okay, so I'm going to take your recommendation on that. Okay, continue. Nope, that's not right. This computer doesn't remember my details. My other one does. There we go. Yay, I get free shipping. Yay. Continue. Ooh, they do PayPal, and I don't have enough money in my account at the moment for PayPal. I could quickly put money in my account. Oh, wait, of course I have enough money in my account for PayPal. What the fuck am I talking about? What the fuck am I talking about? Double checking. There was all that trouble with banking tonight. Logging on. Accounts. Yes, I do have enough money. I don't know why I thought I didn't. Because my memory is bad. And because I'm not looking at how much I'm actually spending here. All right. I prefer PayPal rather than giving my credit card number over the interwebs, really. So I've got to log into PayPal. Yes. Okay. Well, that's good. It's fucking going nuts. Because I've emptied a bunch of bottles in the last couple of weeks. All right. There we go. 2 bottles per chase. This is what the live streams are all about. Impulse buying alcohol. Oh, that's good. That's sweet. Whatever I put in that, I don't even remember. Order confirmed. Hoorah. Yes, Safa. Look, dude, maybe we should do a road trip to the Echuca Distillery one day if I want to do a country road trip one day. Pick you up along the way and visit the Echuca Distillery. Okay, Justin, it was a good experience. See, dude, it all comes down to you do have the first-hand experience, and was it good for you, or is it worth it? Safa, when we're all fully vaccinated, go bar hopping in Melbourne. Yep, sometime in a bright and glorious future when we're vaccinated. Yes. Glee, you still can't get Commonwealth. Well, it was working on the app. Let me see actually if it works on the browser. Commonwealth Bank. Let's see if I can log on. NetBank, log on. This is me practicing real hard at not saying my account number and password out loud. Don't save. I don't like saving. It's working for me. So maybe I'm just lucky, Glee. I don't know. What's in my inbox? What are they telling me? Ugh, that's from ages ago. Delete that. Delete that bank spam, honestly. Now I've got the Muppet Show theme stuck in my head for some reason. I think I did this ice right, by the way. See some air bubbles. Soon going to find out. It's going to fall out, and I'll find out if I did it too soon. Okay. But yeah, there's been a lot of internet outages last couple of weeks. Nice. Kirsten, somehow, you've acquired an additional 12 boxes of booze since arriving in Sydney. Somehow. I've actually got shelf space now because I emptied a bunch of bottles. So shelf space, that's That's anathema. Empty spaces on the booze shelf. No. So I'm getting more bottles to fill the empty spaces. Why aren't I using fingerprints? Fuck off. Fingerprint readers are way too easy to spoof. They are incredibly easy to spoof. Fingerprint readers fucking suck. Also, my laptop doesn't have a fingerprint reader on it. But it's good to remember the account number and the password. I will admit, I actually use Face ID on the phone, which is harder to spoof than fingerprints. Not impossible, but more difficult. That's an excellent hack, Shieldsy. Hacked my internet, intercepted my order, and I'm just going to get 12 cases of water. Quality hacking. So yeah, so I'm going to get new rye whiskey from Melbourne, new gin from the Great Ocean Road. Oh, Kirsten, this is the last of the Tempest. So I think I'm going to order the other Archie cocktails. Yeah, that's a good one, Matt. Why don't hackers ever hack extra money into our accounts? Let's see. And when am I getting new mobile? Probably soon, because I realized I'd paid this one off and it's a couple generations old. I was talking to Mrs. Angry about it the other day. Maybe when stuff has been opened up for a while and there's been less spread of COVID, we might go to a retailer and get new phones. Yeah, that will be 5G. I'll have to find out what 5G plans they have. Because if they have a decent 5G plan, you know, I could fucking stream from my phone, run around. So for 80, I have more than that on my data plan now because I use a fuck ton of data. Raiders, yes, I believe you can still get phones that aren't 5G, or you can get 5G capable phones, but you don't have to sign up to a 5G service. Greg, I don't like coffee. So I won't get the only Starwood cocktail I'll get is the new old fashioned because that's fucking awesome. That's really good. Yeah, they recently broadened the pre-bottled cocktails at Starwood, and because I can't remember exactly what they were. I'm legal drinking age. So they used to just have the new old fashioned and the red Manhattan. And I got the red Manhattan and didn't particularly like it. It was a bit bitter for my taste. Now they've got a coffee old fashioned, so like a coffee whiskey cocktail, and what they're calling a whiskey Negroni for marketing purposes in regular cocktail talk. That would be a Boulevardier. I might like that. It depends how bitter it is. I would want to taste that before committing to buy a bottle. But the new old fashioned is fucking great. So it's 10 cocktails for $50. It's pretty fucking good. Well, I mean, if you pour as generously as me, it's probably 8 cocktails for $50, which is still pretty good. But yeah, if I get a chance to taste test the premix whiskey Negroni, I might like. Oh, sorry, Greg, you were trolling me. See, over my head. Oh, Matt, God, I didn't even remember GSM. Your memory is better than me. Pre 3G was GSM. Yeah. Safa, young Ms. Angry did watch E3. She gave me a summary of it. So, see, Greg, you did the trolling. That was quality trolling. You did it with a straight face, as it were. And you got me. Yeah, look, a hot tub stream. It's not Twitch. Wi-Fi covers the bathroom, I think. I was joking about a hot tub stream on Friday night stream, and I heard Mrs. Angry from the next room going, "No, you're not doing that." So no hot tub streams. C'est la vie, really. Yeah, that makes sense. Telstra phasing out 3G in major cities, Raiders, because no one's been using 3G for a very long time. Safi, your first phone was a 2G Sony Ericsson. Well, my first mobile was a fucking Motorola back in the 90s. What did we call the network then? It certainly wasn't 2G. So I had a Motorola first, and then for years I had Nokias. I had a bunch of different Nokias, including one I really liked that had this whole Star Trek-y vibe. It was about this big, and you sort of pushed a button on the side, and the mouthpiece popped out, and it was like this banana shape. That was a really cool phone. I really liked it. But that was the olden days. Good call, Matt. Before doing a hot tub stream, set up a donation link. Excellent plan. Excellent plan. Yep, got to maximize the efficiency. Keep looking at this. This must be about to come out. And I'll find out if I did. I don't think I did it too soon. It looks right to me. But it's slid out. See? You see it's nice and clear all the way through? We'll see. Oh, wow. Matt, the promotional Coca-Cola phones was your first phone. Ooh, Kirsten, actually turn off. I was not thinking. I was thinking getting the other two because the Tempest is really fucking good. But I like variety. So I got the new Grony and the Tempest, and I like the sound of the Cloud Century and the Neon Gimlet. I was going to get them just for variety. That was it, Greg. The CDMA network. I remember the CDMA network. Yes. Sorry, the emergency fall pendants are still using 3G. They don't like it. Have pointed out they're scamming people. Oh no! Help! I've fallen and I can't get up. I'm going to need one of those. But that's just actually for the live streams when I get too drunk. Shizzy, you like the Samsung Galaxy S10? See, Apple have the soft handcuffs on me because I've got so many apps that I've committed to that, I'd lose if I switched to Android. So that's just me being weak. Oh, WAP! I remember that too. God damn. Matt, mobile WAP internet. Yes. Which I think the acronym was Wireless Access Point. Safi, you're not going to get any argument from me about Apple being evil. Apple and their planned obsolescence and their, no repair thing that they try and enforce is fucking evil. But then again, all the tech companies are. It was Wireless Access Protocol. There we go. What do I watch? Oh, that family animated movie on Netflix. The is it the Hendersons versus the Machines? I think that's what it's called. Don't think I'm logged into Netflix on this device. And I would have to remember my password. And I am not completely sure what my password is because I haven't logged in for a very long time. think it was called The Hendersons vs. the Machines, and I did watch it the other day because I wanted something like no mental energy required to watch. And it was good. It's fun. It was great. It was a very good sort of, they call it family. When they say family, they mean kids. It was a very good kids movie, suitably silly. But there's this great stuff about how tech companies are probably evil, and the people behind tech companies pushing the technology are probably very irresponsible. That shows you Apple lost you an update deleted contacts on your phone. There's a 3GS iPhone. I think that was the first one I had. The iPhone 3. I think that was the first iPhone I had because it's the first one that was any good. First one that had a decent camera. And that's always been really important to me since camera phones were a thing. The quality of the camera phone was an important thing to me. Yeah, I always get a bit paranoid at the swap over point with a new phone. It's like, okay, I've got to back it all up and then I've got to wipe it and then I've got to install it on the new phone. And I'm always paranoid it's going to fuck up. So if saying Australia didn't get the 2G phone, maybe not. It's ancient history. I have trouble remembering things that happened last week, let alone 20 years ago. So it's easy to back up on Android. Theoretically, it's easy on an Apple too. I just always get paranoid it's going to go wrong. You're going to lose stuff. I haven't backed this up to iTunes on my PC for ages, which I probably should. So, but yeah, I am probably going to get a new phone, and I like all the sexy stuff the new phones on the new cameras do. So we'll see. There might be stuff happening on the phone in the future. I mean, this phone does sexy stuff. This is the first time I've cracked a screen, actually, in a long time. But I've got one of those covers on it, so you don't notice. But there's actually a reasonably nasty crack on the screen. But I don't feel it because I've got one of those protective films on there. So it's holding it all together. But I feel bad for having done that, really. So I even remember doing it because it was like, I stumbled and I dropped the phone and it hit a hard, I don't know whether it was the tiles here or concrete somewhere, and it made a real slap noise when it hit the ground. And I was like, fuck. And I picked it up and I thought, oh no, it's okay. And it wasn't until much later I noticed there's actually a crack, but because I've got this protective film, I didn't notice it. And then there's this crack, and I thought, oh, I did crack it when I did that. Safa, yes, Telstra fucking suck. Oh, no, Kirsten's forgotten the house access card. That can't be good. Yeah, well, I mean, where you can see or you can't see that this is cracked. I put that on there. You can't see that it's cracked. But if I sort of hold, what angle do I have to put it on to see the crack? There's like 3 crack lines on here. And I can actually see like the impact point. There's a little splinter point and then 3 cracks run off it. First thing I do when I get a phone is a screen protector and a big fuck off case because I am so fucking clumsy. I even get them to put it on in the store. It's like, hey, I need a screen protector. And they go, yeah, this is this many dollars. And I said, can you put it on? Because I am real fucking shit at it. Kirsten, husband's going to rescue you. Well, that's good. That is good. What's the time? 9. It's probably, and Shieldsy would be pleased to hear this, it's probably time for me to be drinking water. Not that I had a lot to drink tonight, but didn't want to go downhill in the second half, so might get some ice. Ice, baby. A little bit of ice. There we go. That'll do. And some chilled water. We'll just drink water for the second half. Okay. What's your rated? You're on your third S20. Gets a bit expensive when you're careless. Yeah. Use industrial cases. I always get a pretty chunky case. I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to drop it, and I know the phone's really sexy without the case. I don't fucking care. I don't want to drop it. Just give me a fucking case. Shieldsy, chat support is shithouse for complicated things. And because I fucking Telstra sucks so fucking much. And I've had a couple of problems recently, and it's proven incredibly painful to try and communicate through chat. So they had to call them. Holy shit, Raiders spent 4,500 on phones in the last 18 months. You are Mr. Destructo. I've never had to replace a phone. Actually, no, that's not true. I dropped one in the toilet and it was under warranty, so I got a replacement. I like this. Archie's trying to get me to buy. What the fuck is that? Oh, Christ, I didn't shut the freezer properly. Oh, my God. Archie's trying to get me to buy copper shaker and jigger and bar spoon. I don't need it. I have my bar stuff. Thank you very much. So the Cloud Century. Vodka, vermouth, yuzu, hazelnut. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just doing it. Add 2 carts. Does that work? Yeah, it does. All right. Friends in high places. Gotta process that. This is what the live streams are all about. It's remembering now. Bill to shipping address. Okay, this does want a card. Confirm. All right. Charge card. This is what the live stream's all about. Me randomly buying alcohol. God, that dude's fucking pathetic. So if we want the 5G chip, what I love about, and it's like whenever I'm out for dinner with Mrs. Angry and I pay for card, they go, "Do you want a receipt?" And I feel my phone go bzzz. And I went, "No, the bank just told me how much I spent. Thank you." Which is actually a great service from the bank. To tell you when you're spending money, because when it's not you, you go, wait, that wasn't me. Shieldsy, you've already hacked my drink. This is just water. And sometimes I really appreciate water. Like that water tasted really good. And of course, water doesn't really taste of anything. You know, chemicals, fluoride and chloride. Oh no, God, Shieldsy, you've hacked me and now I'm getting 1,000 cases of water. Okay, I have to find somewhere to put it. I don't know. Shieldsy's just looking after me. Come on, you want to come out, stupid ice. When did it come out before the end of the stream? It will. I've still got 50 minutes. Safi, you think mountain water is the best water? No joke. The best water I have ever tasted in my life was melt coming off a glacier in New Zealand. So it was water running down a glacier from the melt, just putting a water bottle to it and catching it and then drinking it was the best water I've ever had in my life. I don't know how much of that was psychological, but it just tasted fucking fantastic. Yes, absolutely untreated water just from a melted glacier. It was amazing. Very good stuff. Kirsten, you like rainwater? I grew up with a rainwater tank in Dubbo. We had a huge rainwater tank next to the house. So I grew up with rainwater. Fish Lives Matter. Hello. Oh, yeah. Cold water on a hot day can be fucking amazing. Cools your eyeballs. Okay, I'm not sure I've ever felt that sensation, but I'll trust you on that. By the way, for those who missed it, Sad Pathetic Troll Boy popped up momentarily with, another account he made because he's such a pathetic fucking loser, and just jumps straight into, oh, that troll guy made another video about, and it's like, dude, I don't fucking care what you're doing. It's like, he's so fucking stupid and he's so fucking obvious, and it's just like, dude, get a fucking life. Just get a fucking life. Oh, yes, after I saw that thing about Ronaldo with Coca-Cola, one of the highest paid soccer players in the world, at a press conference, because Coca-Cola is a sponsor, there were a couple of Coca-Cola bottles placed in front of him on the press conference table, and he just took the bottles off and said, people drink too much, you should drink water. And it's like, good on you, Ronaldo. Go for it, buddy. Guessing your mum has 18,500 litres of rainwater tanks. Suburban house. Yeah. I mean, it's good to have some sort of filter for it as well, because gross stuff can grow in rainwater tanks because it's untreated. But yeah, I grew up with rainwater. So in the country, I don't even know. We had this huge, very old school sort of corrugated iron tank. It was huge. I have no idea how much it would have held if full, but it was a huge tank. Just little bits of water dripping out of this. I'm going to get that sorted before end of stream. Now I want more water. It's only 9:14. I should drink more water. Okay. So what videos am I going to make tomorrow night for cocktails? I've got a milk clarified martini. What else was I going to do? I was going to do the Irish whiskey old fashioned with banana sugar syrup. And then because I thought I was going to get these fucking blood limes from Coles, and I was going to do a comparison of blood limes to regular limes. But despite the fact Coles have been advertising for a couple of weeks, they don't fucking exist. Coles don't fucking have the blood limes. And so I've got to come up with a third one. So Kirsten, your mama has a whole filter system, solar-powered battery to run the fridge for a week. Well, that's nice. Video, dude? Really? Oh, Jesus. A sad little troll fuck. Yes, Greg, dead animals in the tanks, a real issue. And Matt, how does algae not form in the water tanks? It probably does. You can get some of the tanks have a sort of treatment that inhibits algae growth, but you'd want to talk to someone who's more of an expert than I about algae in water tanks. Yeah, Shieldsy, I can see that the water tanks, if it doesn't rain, you've got to order a water truck to come and fill the tank. We never had that. I think the water tank, because we had a couple of droughts in Dubbo when I was around, but we never ran out of water in water tank. Yes, Matt, Banana Brains. Kind of funny that he used Video Dude as the account name. He's just so desperate for me to give a shit about it. It's just it's definitely it's a little bit embarrassing that there's this pathetic child-brained loser who just has this fixation, and it's like, dude, I'm not that interesting. I'm just not that interesting. I heard there was a lot of snow out in the central west. Raiders, 4 or 5 inches in Orange. Yeah. It used to snow because I went to college in Bathurst with Aidsy. Used to snow a little bit in winter. Usually not enough to settle in any serious way, but every now and then it does. That is a fun fact, Fish Lives Matter. Kelp is an algae, not a true plant. That is a fun fact. I like it. My favorite thing about the ocean, I think it's attributed to Stephen Jay Gould, a very well-known biologist who spent a lot of time studying ocean life. And he said after like decades of studying the ocean, one of the biggest things I came away with is, to all intents and purposes, there's no such thing as a fish. We use that term so broadly. We use it to describe things that are biologically nothing to do with each other. Like he's just going, the word fish is useless because we apply it to so many things, and we apply it to stuff that are totally unrelated. Like they've diverted in evolutionary terms millions of years ago, and they've got nothing to do with each other. Yes, Raiders, that is also a good thing. Salmon, commercially produced salmon, is bad. Salmon farms are bad. What they do is, and it's recently been highlighted in Tasmania, but this has been a problem in South America for a long time that is providing America with all its salmon. A significant amount of the salmon that you buy in shops comes from these fish farms, and what they do is they make this really large net in the ocean that goes from the top of the water down, and they breed the salmon in that. And the salmon can't go anywhere. They sort of swim around. They can't go anywhere. And so all of their shit for their whole life lands in one part of the ocean floor where it kills everything. And then because it's so concentrated and it's shit, so it's a fertilizer, and it makes this algae grow that fucks up the entire marine ecosystem. So they're just recently coming to terms with the fact that these salmon fish farms are fucking up the entire marine ecosystem. And yes, directly under the nets, Raiders, it's dead because too much nitrogen from all the salmon shit kills everything. But then that it spreads out from the nets, and and it promotes this algal growth, which is destroying the entire ecosystem. It's really quite bad. Yeah, and yeah, fish life matters. The fish is a generic term. It's a borderline meaningless term. It's used so broadly for species that are so different that it's meaningless. It was funny the first time I heard it. Stephen Jay Gould saying there's no such thing as a fish. Of course there are, Stephen. They're in the ocean. And he explained this is why the term fish is fucking useless. And it was really funny. Yeah, Raiders, it's ruined the abalone crayfish industry. It's basically killing the entire ecosystem. It's really bad. It was happening in South America like 10, 20 years ago with salmon farms that were made to feed the US appetites. And people have just realized in the last couple of years, like last year or two, it's really fucking shit up in Tasmania. It needs to be shut down, basically, because it's too fucking destructive. Whether that happens or not, anyone's guess. Who fucking knows? Probably have to explain to our grandkids why biodiversity ended and there were only 3 animals left in the world. She's like, oh yeah, we knew. We got told exactly what the problem was. We just didn't do anything. The kids are going, what? No, we just didn't do anything. We knew exactly what the problem was. We knew exactly how to fix it, and we didn't. And then catastrophe. And we knew that was coming. But yeah. So, Radies, you've been on a cruise off the west coast. Farms are massive, scattered all around Tassie. Yeah. And they're a powerful lobby as well, because you'll get the big supermarkets like Coles and Woolies will join the thing because it's like, no, we make a lot of money selling canned salmon. Fuck it. And they're a very powerful lobby, but they need to be shut down because they're just too destructive. Fish Lights, have I seen the video with a lady pulling hooks out of wild sharks? I have not. They've befriended her and will lay in their lap while being stroked. Sharks are funny. Prehistoric monsters. Yes, that is another thing, Raiders. The salmon from the fish farms is actually completely different to wild caught salmon. They dye it orange because people expect it to be orange. It's pale grey. It's kind of like, margarine type spreads. Because margarine was technically a very specific thing. So the plant oil based spreads we get now are not margarine. I'm showing my age by calling them margarine. So all the plant oil based spreads we get in the supermarket now aren't margarine, but they get dyed yellow to kind of look like butter because in their default form they're like grey. Yeah. I like that visual of that. The lady with her friend sharks, they're big enough to fuck her up, but they don't. Look, 999 times out of 1,000, a shark's not going to fuck someone up, but just sometimes they do. But yeah, if they're friends with her, why not? Safa, how many years till Fury Road? I don't know, man, but I got to rewatch it again. It's a training video. I've just decided Fury Road is a training video for the future. Safa, the history of margarine is fascinating, and that makes me sound like a complete fucking loser. Okay, so be it. But the butter industry, and I think this is mainly out of England, but it might have been broader Europe, they were so paranoid about margarine eating into the thing. They started to argue they're not allowed to dye it so it looks like butter. So there was this period where I think margarine in England was bright orange or whatever. But whatever, that was a lost battle from the butter lobby, obviously. But yeah, the plant oil-based spreads that we get in the supermarkets now, they're not that yellow color naturally. They're dyed that color. Clapping for Chlamydia. Hello. On stuff you said there's no Chrome edition of Fury Road in 4K. Dude, I can't tell the difference between Blu-ray and 4K. I got the box set in Blu-ray. I think it was for Christmas a couple of years ago from Mrs. Angry. It's got all Mad Max movies, all the making of documentaries, and the black and chrome edition of Fury Road, which fucking rocks. And you wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think it because when you see Fury Road, it's that orange-blue contrast they do really makes up the visuals of the movie. So you would think a black and white version would kind of suck, but it's fucking awesome. I still like the color version more, but yeah, I feel like I have to rewatch it because now Fury Road is just a training video for the future to come. Yes, Raiders like Macca's fake cheese or just American cheese. It was so fucking weird going to America and seeing this bright orange fucking cheese that they sell in the supermarkets that they call American cheese. It's just kind of wrong. Although I have to admit, I did get that spray foam cheese just to be gross. I'd be sitting there at parties with spray foam cheese going, because I'm gross, quite honestly. So for who's Hemsworth playing? He's playing young Max. Hemsworth's playing young Max. I've gone out on a limb now, and I'm saying it. Hemsworth in the Furiosa prequel is young Max. I could be wrong, but I'm going out on a limb and saying Hemsworth is young Max. No, Tom Hardy's not in it. What's her name? Charlize Theron's not in it because it's young Furiosa. It's a prequel. So my bet is Hemsworth is young Max. Apparently, Hardy and Theron did not get on that well on set. Although I did read some interviews later with Charlize Theron where she said she kind of patched things up with Tom Hardy because he was really tense and antsy on set, and she said in an interview she felt like she didn't cut him enough slack on the set because he was being introspective and grumpy and antsy, and it's probably because he just felt so much fucking stress taking on the Max role, which was Mel Gibson's role, that it was probably doing his head in the whole time and fucking him up. And she feels like she didn't cut him enough slack for that. Come on, come out, Ice God. Oh, here it goes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, boy. So no bubbles in this ice because I caught it when it was just starting to solidify in the end. Yes, this is excellent. Right, I just have to cut this into two pieces and put it in the freezer. Just got to get a cutting board. Bread knife is good for this. Where's my bread knife? This will do. Right. Sorry, I'm just off camera here. Beautiful, sexy, clear ice. Cut off those bits off the end. Oh, that's so much better than having to get the bits when they've got the ice bubbles in and cut it off. So I'm just going to cut this into two ginormous bits of ice. So basically just got to use the bread knife and score all the way around the ice. This is a method I learned, and so that's what I'm going to do. I think there's two very differently shaped pieces of ice. And now I need something heavy, like this bottle of sesame oil. There we go. Now I need some plastic bags. Yeah, boy. Some plastic bags to stop them from doing that weird evaporation thing they do in the freezer. And Sorry for going off camera. But now I've got two very sexy pieces of clear ice that I can put in the freezer. Okay, you go in there. There we go. All right. Excellent. Job done. Job fucking done. Ooh. Got to cut my bits off. All right. So that's done. So that's fucking good. Raiders might have missed the other night. It's a new series. Oh, no, we were talking. That's right. We were talking about Jack Irish. I need to watch it. I've never watched any Jack Irish. I think I can get it all on iView. Because I do like Aussie crime stuff when it's done well. One of my very favorite movies is Animal Kingdom, which I think is one of the best Australian movies I've ever seen. Everything about it, the script, the acting, the direction, the cinematography, the sound design is fucking incredible. Just really, really exceptionally well done technically, but also it's this fantastic story and great acting. So it's the whole package as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, Raiders, Guy Pearce, he's so fucking good. I'm such a Guy Pearce fan. For a guy who started in soapies, like what was he on? He was on Home and Away, I think. He did really well. Wasn't there a storyline where he had, I'm trying hard to remember, but I think there was a storyline where he had an underage girlfriend. It's like, what the fuck's going on here? What are the script writers trying to cover up? It's kind of like because I was watching that Richard Roxburgh series, Rake, the old ABC series, which I quite like as well. But there was one episode where the plot line was this sort of sociopathic underage girl who engineered a murder and got Cleaver, the main character in Rake, to defend her. And she's actually guilty. She's a sociopath. But also at a public event, she sort of flirts with Cleaver when he doesn't know who she is. And he goes off with her and they have sex. And I think she's meant to be about 16. She's underage anyway. But it's the whole thing is set up that she engineered it and she's the conniving one. And I just watched that one episode and I went, I wonder if we looked into the script writer's background, what accusations might have been leveled at them at some point in their life. I couldn't escape this feeling when you're going out of your way to have this underage female character being the evil, conniving one, and she tricked the guy who has no morals into having sex with her. Serious criminal offense. While Rake is very good, I was watching this going, I'm just getting this vibe that we should look into the script writer's past to find out, what might they have got into? Because something about it just felt super wrong to me. Apparently, there's a whole extra season on Netflix of Rake that I haven't seen. I think it's as soon as I finish Ozark, I'll watch it. Because I was watching a couple dramas. I just kind of watch one thing all the way through these days. I finally caught up on Peaky Blinders. I'm well into season 3 on Ozark, which is the most recent season of that. Ozark's definitely getting a 4th season. I'm assuming more Peaky Blinders will come because I thought Peaky Blinders was very popular. Because with the last episode of Rake I ever watched, I don't know if it's the third, fourth, fifth season, but it finishes with Cleaver getting elected to Parliament, the Senate, I think. And I thought that was the last ever episode. But recently, Netflix did a new episodes of Rake, and I didn't know if that was just there had been one series they hadn't bought from the ABC, or if they'd actually commissioned another series. I don't know which of the two, or if I have actually seen it all. But they were saying there was an extra season, so, and I'm yet to check it out. But I'll be finished Ozark soon, so I will probably then check out if they actually really truly do have episodes of Rake I haven't seen. And Mrs. Angry and I need a new viewing for our viewing nights because we are up to the last ever episode of 6 Feet Under, 5 seasons of that show. We've spent the last month or two working our way through. But we did watch the first episode of the new series on Netflix, Sweet Tooth, based on a comic. And we both enjoyed that. So we're going to give that more of a go, I think. But there are also a couple of new series on the different streaming services that we will check out to see if we like. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Rake season 5 looks unfamiliar. Yeah. I don't think I've seen it. Yeah. Well, it makes sense because I was watching it on Netflix and then I finished it. And then relatively recently they were like, new season. And I'm like, okay. But I will probably be checking that within a week or so. Like the weekends, I like to veg out, particularly after party nights on the stream. And I'm like, I've woken up. I'm kind of fucked. Okay, there's a couple of things on the streaming services, but I already watched Loki today. I'm very, very keen to see what they do with that because I think they're going to have a bit of fun with it, with the whole multiverse thing and timelines things. There's only 2 episodes of that so far. I'm enjoying it, but it's this whole sort of layers of deception thing, and so you don't know what's really going to happen. I'm quite keen to see where they go with Loki. What else am I watching on the streaming services? A bunch of stuff I was watching finished. I like that one of the politicians in Rake is the pub owner, Jack Irish. Is that his nemesis, like the Liberal Party guy who ends up being a TV shock jock? The characters in Rake were so good. Yes, there's a bunch of stuff to watch. I'm still watching I still haven't watched all the episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I probably started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine at the start of last year, and I'm not quite finished because they have like 20 episodes in a season or something. I am up to the last season that's been made. Apparently, they're going to make one more season. I haven't finished that. I'm watching Schitt's Creek, and I think I've got quite a few episodes to watch of that still. Raiders Missy in Rake, she was fun. She was a good character. So many good characters in Rake, actually. The season where Cleaver's in jail and he's defended, because he's a defense lawyer, he's defended half the guys who are in jail. So they get him to settle disagreements in jail. Like they have a court session where Cleaver has to present arguments defending someone who's it's great. It's just great. Rake is really worth watching. Apparently they had a go at making an American version, which went down in a screaming heap so far as I know. Greg Kinnear played the Cleaver role. And I don't hate Greg Kinnear at all. I think I half watched one episode of that, but I don't think it lasted even a season. But yeah. Yeah, that's the summary of the Cleaver Brown, the lead character in Rake, a criminal defense barrister who deserves to be nowhere near a courtroom. He's a terrible person. What I love about Rake is the lead character is a terrible person. Sometimes you empathize with him, but he is broadly fucking awful, and he's really self-destructive and does really terrible things. Like he's a fucking jerk. And I don't even mean like he's an evil, diabolical genius. He's just a fucking jerk. And yeah. So, for why does the Commonwealth have lawyers? Because they like suing people? I don't know. Yeah, Raiders. He's at least inspired by a real person who is apparently just a really fucking awful person. And when people started to realize which Sydney barrister was basically the inspiration for Cleaver and Rake, they were like, yeah, that's not cool because he's shit. He's an awful fucking person. Like, he's not a quirky, interesting, misunderstood guy. He's a fucking piece of shit. So, yeah, no, he's apparently the guy who is largely the inspiration for Rake is a fucking horrible person. He's a lawyer. I shouldn't be saying that. He's great. I bet he's great. I bet the people who wrote articles saying he was awful, I bet they're the awful ones. And this guy is actually awesome. Oh, yes, for the Australia Cup. Those types of for those who've missed it, there's been a bit of a story in the media this week. Some old boys club in Sydney, which I think it's called the Australia Club or something. But anyway, it's in Sydney, men's only club. Apparently, one member raised a motion that they should be allowing women into the club, and the members voted it down as well. Yeah, they're horrible pieces of shit. And these are the people. They have, they run the largest companies in the country. They're judges and high-profile barristers. They're politicians. These are people who actually make decisions that affect all of us. And they're in this squalid little boys' club. They're in there are clubs like that where the horrible, gross, conservative, connected, misogynist shitbags have this men-only club, and all the fucking Liberal Party members are members, but it's fucking gross. That is a great explanation, Raiders. The Commonwealth has lawyers to defend those who commit crimes while carrying out their duty willingly or unwittingly. Yeah. I think they also prosecute as well. I'm not sure. You see, it's like, there's the drop left in this bottle. So this is the Archie Rose gin. Is there a drop left in? Is a drop left in there? Ooh, that was literally just a drop, and it was really warm going down. The Applewood Coral, yeah, there's the drop left in that. I'm the alcoholic drinking a drop out of the bottom of each bottle. Yep, that's gin. Oh, you're studying US law because you mean you've been recreationally studying US law, or it's actual study or for work or whatever. So most Australians are decent. People vote Conservative for a number of reasons. Sometimes it's because it serves their own best interests. Sometimes it's because they're very anti-communist and they think the Labor Party's communist. Sometimes it's because they've actually been overwhelmed by the propaganda of the Murdoch machine. Some people just genuinely believe that conservative ideology of people are just got to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and they've got welfare's bad. It makes people dependent and that type of thing. Oh, nice, Kirsten. Labels came in for a new gin product at work, and they're pretty. Oh, I'm really interested to see that because again, even that's half the reason I bought the bottled cocktails was the design and certainly the copywriting. The way the cocktails were described, I was like, yeah, I'm on board. That sounds great. I want those. Safa, was I afraid of communism as a kid? Politics didn't feature in my world until I was at uni. And I was kind of lefty, but leaned more towards the anti-authoritarian anarchist side of things. Because, the communist movements around the world tended to have these figureheads who went after absolute power, which I was not big on. I leaned more towards the collectivist and anarchist side of things. Ladies, you were looking up tax fraud. Yes, tax fraud is a crime against the country. Yes, country has lawyers to prosecute the case on behalf of the nation. Yes, that is one thing. Commonwealth lawyers prosecute. Another thing is really fucked up shit, like the Witness K case that's going on at the moment. I think they were pronouncing sentence today because, Witness K in a closed court was pleading guilty because he was actually guilty of doing the right thing, which was against the law, which is weird. Saf, was I alive when the Australian Communist Party was banned? I don't know when that was. The Australian Communist Party banned. Sounds like a thing Menzies would have done. The Communist Party of Australia was declared an unlawful organisation, was dissolved, property forfeited to the Commonwealth without compensation. In 1951, there was a referendum on should the Australian Communist Party be banned. What was... I want to know... Yeah, Menzies. That was a Menzies thing. Bill passed the House, struggled to pass the Senate. So, passed the Senate. There's the Communist Party Dissolution Act. Governor General was able to declare any person a communist, engaging or likely to engage in activities detrimental to the defence and security of the nation. Such persons were not allowed to be employed by the Commonwealth in public service or in industries considered vital to the defence of Australia. They were not permitted to run for office, were prohibited from joining a union. So there's a challenge to the High Court. Question was whether the federal government had the power. Court ruled in a 6-1 judgment that the act was invalid. So the High Court said, you can't do this. Wow. So then there was a referendum which sought to change the Constitution. Newspapers supported it. Doc Evatt held more speeches than Menzies, started campaigning earlier, campaigning vigorously against what he perceived as Menzies' attempt to establish a police state. Despite this, 3 months before the ballot, the ban was supported by 73% of respondents in a Gallup poll. Referendum had the question, do you approve of the proposed law for the alteration of the Constitution. The referendum was not carried. That's interesting. Little bit of history there. Oh yeah, Raiders. The Witness K thing was fucked. Nice, Raiders. Accused of Dan Andrews bashing conspiracy idiot of being a domestic terrorist. You'd report him as one. Fuck yeah, those people are fucking idiots. Oh yeah, Matt, there is the Victorian Socialists almost won a seat in the Senate at the last election, I think. I don't know. So yeah, that was a fun thing. Menzies wanted to ban the Communist Party, passed an act to say we're banning the Communist Party, was challenged in the High Court, and the High Court said, yeah, you can't actually do that. That's unconstitutional. Menzies ran a referendum to change the Constitution, and the referendum didn't pass. So there you go. And Safa, you think Dan Andrews will be Premier for the rest of the time? Look, the Murdoch media is going to work very hard, very, very, very hard to go against the Andrews government at the next election. It's impossible to predict how that will play out. There's too much weird shit happening now to predict the future. And it's as simple as that. There is just way too much weird shit happening to predict the future. I think we're still like 18 months off a state election here. It's meant to be in about November 2022. I don't think it's this year. I think it's next year. I will just double check. Vic state election. Yeah, 2022. Yeah. Scheduled for 26 November 2022. So it's 18 months away. Anyone who thinks they can predict the next 18 months is full of shit. Yes, Raiders, that was, but it just those whole honors things are absolutely meaningless, whether it's Labor or the LNP giving that. But yeah, Peter Credlin getting an award on the Queen's birthday for fucking what? Literally for fucking Tony Abbott, apparently. Wasn't it funny how that story just got dropped? What was obviously happening between Credlin and Abbott, and everyone was talking about it, and then Abbott left office, and they just went, "Oh well, he's not Prime Minister anymore, so I can forget about it." And Christine Nixon did too, did she? Oh my god. It's just weird, but yeah, that whole awards thing is just stupid as fuck. It's just it's meaningless. It's dumb. It's ridiculous. Ooh, I just remember I got my Simpsons tapped out. I do this before I go to bed. It's almost the end of the stream. I have a really big Springfield. I've got like 300 or 400 characters in it. There's a little Zen themed thing going on at the moment. They're all being Buddhist. I'll go out on a limb and say the writing for this mobile game is better than the writing for the TV series. Now I'm all out of focus because I did that thing with the phone. I think I'm back now. Get the sound effects. Get all these grabs of characters from the TV show. And you tap on them. Get this cleared before I go to bed. So it's like Farmville, but with the Simpsons. That's Raiders. You had a family member got an OAM for service to the community. But yeah, okay, yeah, Peter fucking Credlin. It's people like Peter Credlin that make it meaningless. And the Labor Party is as guilty of giving out politically motivated awards that completely cheapen the whole thing. So the Labour Party can't really hold their head up with this whole, Queen's Birthday honours or Australia Day awards or whatever. They're as fucking guilty of doing dumb politically motivated shit as, but it somehow feels worse when the LNP does it. Because often when I tap it, it's actually setting off multiple characters, which is why the little sound bites are probably unintelligible, because so many of them are going off at the same time. What's that? Okay, that's that. A little bit of Simpsons theme music playing. Stop that. So this takes a little while with this tapping, because there's, as I said, 300 or 400 characters in here. Peter Credlin got hers for running the country. There you go. I don't know. She's a fucking nightmare. What I thought was hilarious is because recently dickhead LNP commentators have been saying, like, Peter Credlin should stand for state parliament in Victoria. And they're going like, oh, she'd wipe Dan Andrews out. And it's like, you fucking people are so disconnected from reality. It's like, it's just, they're so obsessed with their ideology, they're incapable of looking at anything objectively. And in regards to Peter Credlin, Victoria's divided into two groups: people who have no fucking idea who she is, and people who justifiably fucking hate her. The idea that she would be this political force that would wipe out Dan Andrews is so disconnected from reality. It's truly surreal. It's very difficult to fathom how out of touch with reality they are. But then again, I guess they believe their, bullshit economic theory actually works. So we have abundant evidence that they are disconnected from reality. Is that right? Do you think the Friendly Geordies case will be fascinating, set a precedent? What it will hopefully set is a standard that is like, hey, government, you can't overstep the mark when we allow a law that's meant to deal with extremely dangerous fringe people. You can't fucking use that to attack your political opponents, you absolute pieces of shit. Because that's what they've done. They've taken a law that was dubious in the first point, but okay, it exists. It's only meant to target extremely dangerous individuals. So to use it against your political opponents is fucking offensive. So, yeah, hopefully they will get a slap down from the courts saying, you can't fucking do that. That's police state bullshit. Anyone can argue, if they want to, that Friendly Geordies is a dick and some of the stuff he does is unreasonable, but you can't do this police state bullshit in response. Anywho, that's 10 o'clock. So I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to thank you fine people for joining me this evening. And we'll skate into tomorrow night, party night, making cocktails, having fun, getting a bit smashed probably. A lot of time with Shieldsy telling me to drink water because that's what he does. He's my good angel. Think of the cartoons where you have the good angel and the bad angel. I feel like on the streams, there's Shieldsy is the good angel, and then there's everyone else. It's like, nah, drink more. And Shields is going, don't listen to them, drink water. And everyone's going, no, drink more booze. That's how it feels anyway. But Nighthall, I hope you'll look after yourself. I hope to see you again tomorrow. But for now, I will say